Welcome back everyone. Today I'm going to showing you how to implement this clerk authentication in Next.js application. So as you can see, the clerk is basically the user management platform that really easy to implement in Next.js application. So as you can see, when you log in, you have this dashboard here to manage all the users that log in your application. And yeah, this is what we are going to be building. So let's go to home. This is the home page and we are going to sign up first. So basically all these sign up option, it can be available. You can just toggle the option. You can use GitHub, Google, Facebook, a lot of option that you can choose. And also for this field also you can choose, you can use first name, last name, or just use email and password, anything you want basically. So I'm gonna say John Doe for the first and last name, and the username I'm gonna say John123. For email I'm gonna use my email, gmail.com, and for the password I'm gonna say this is my password 123. So let's continue, and now let's do random something in here. I'm not really care about that. So now we should put our verification code. If I open my Gmail account, now I have the email come from the clerk, and now I'm going to, if you want to see, this is the email look like, right? I'm going to copy the verification code and paste that right here. This is automatically verify the code, and now it will redirect me into the dashboard page. As you can see, the dashboard is basically the private road. Now, as you can see, we log in, and up here, as you can see, we have this icon here. I can manage account, I can change my name, I can just upload image here and change my username, change my password. I think yeah, we can remove the email here and add email address as well. This is available by default when we using clerk. And yeah, hopefully this video helpful, and let's get started. All right, so the first thing what we need to do, let's create a folder. I'm going to give a name learn clerk Next.js, and I'm going to cd into the learn clerk Next.js folder. And from here, I'm going to say npx create next app at lattice and then /. That means it will generate Next.js application in the current folder. I'm going to use TypeScript, ESLint, Tailwind, source, app router, and the import alias, I'm going to say no. It will generate the Next.js application. Just wait for that. It's done. So let's open that inside the Visual Studio Code. You can say code and then dot. It will open the Visual Studio Code like so. So now let's run the application by say npm run dev. It will open localhost 3000. I just want to clean up this home a little bit. So I'm going to scroll down and grab all of that. And here I'm going to say div, and I'm going to put h1, let's say home page, just like that. And I'm going to remove this image up here. So now let's open the localhost 3000, and this is what we have by default. We should have this h1 home page. Nice. So now let's go back to the clerk documentation. Just make sure you have already logged in here, sign in, and I already signed in with my GitHub account. You can do that. And here, let's go to clerk.com/documentation/docs and go to quick start, and I'm going to select this Next.js, and here the step-by-step how you can implement the clerk. So the first thing is we need to install the clerk/Next.js, open the terminal and paste that right here. And also the next thing is we should see this environment variable here, this next public clerk publish key and the secret key. How do we get this? So basically you can go to clerk and you can sign in with GitHub or Google, anything you want. And in here I have already have this application here for my testing, and I'm going to create a new application. You can give any name you want, and I'm going to say learn clerk YouTube, just like that. And as you can see, this is real time. You can add a phone number here. As you can see, this one, you can add Facebook, sign in with Facebook, Apple, GitHub, anything you want. I just want to select the Google and GitHub. And also I'm going to uncheck this phone number And then let's scroll down. You can select anything you want in here, but I'm going to leave it like so and just create the application. After you create the application, now as you can see, we have this file here. It's like the documentation right here. So I think we can just copy this, go to the Next.js application, and in here you can say .env.local and just paste that right here. I'm going to remove this, so I think it doesn't really matter if you see this secret key. Alright, after we're doing that, we need to run that again, npm run dev. And after that, let's go to the documentation, and as you can see, we need to wrap our layout with this clerk provider. So let's go to layout here, and then I'm going to wrap these children here with clerk provider. So let's do clerk provider like so, and I'm going to put these children inside the clerk provider just like that. And now if I access my localhost 3000, I'm going to refresh, and now it should be we can access that, because I believe, oh, we still access that, right? I'm not sure what I'm doing miss right here. Oh yeah, that is because we need to add this middleware to our application. So let's go back here inside a source directory, because I use source directory here. I'm going to create a file called middleware.ts, and in here I just want to copy all of those, copy that and paste that right here. And as you can see, this is basically the road that user cannot access. That means it will be a private road, as you can see all of this, but the except is this API or TRPC folder it will be public. So let's try to refresh here. Yeah, as you can see, we cannot access my home page. It will redirect us to this sign in page. Really cool, but I don't want that to happen. I want to my home page is still public road. So how do we do that? So in here we can add something called public road. So let's add the public road, and the public road that I want to add in here is /. So let's try to go back here, and let's try to open localhost 3000, and I believe now we can access that, right? Nice. So let's go to the global CSS. I just want to remove all this style here. This doesn't really matter. So now as you can see, this is clean, and I'm gonna go back to my page and just add some styling, I think, in here to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna say class name font bold, and the text I'm gonna set that to center, and also the margin top, let's do 10. Right, so now as you can see, this is the home page. So if I want to add another road here, for example, I'm gonna say about. So let's do with file. I'm going to create folder called about, and then inside the folder I'm going to create file called page.tsx. So in here I'm going to say rfc, and then I'm going to do about page, just like that. Save, and then if I go to /about, we cannot access that because about will be protected road by default. So we need to add the about road inside the middleware inside this public road. So here we can say comma, and then I can say /about. That's how you add the public road basically. So now if I open the localhost 3000 /about, now we can access that right here. But in normal layout on the website, we have some header in here, and we have sign in and sign up, and we have the logo in the left, right? So let's little quick create the header. So here inside the source, I'm going to create folder. Let's do components folder, and inside the components folder, I'm going to create header.tsx, and in here I'm going to say rfc. Let's remove the name. I'm going to say header with capital H right here. Let's remove the import React, and in here I'm going to render a div with the background, I think gray, something like 600, something like that. And in here I have div with class container, and inside the container I have link. This is basically the home, so I'm gonna say home, something like that. and I'm gonna say href is gonna be equal to /. So let's try to save here, and I'm going to render that on our layout here. This is our root of application, right? So I'm gonna put the header like so. Here we go. We have the header up here, right? So let's fix that, the styling. So let's go back to header, and here I'm going to say the text, it should be neutral. I'm gonna say 100, and inside the container I'm gonna say mx auto to make it in the center, and also I'm gonna say flex item center and justify between to put the home in the left and the button sign in and sign up to the right side. And I'm gonna say padding vertically into, I'm gonna do 4. Let's save, and this is what we have. Let's zoom out like so, and down here we need to put the div, and I'm gonna say some link here. I'm gonna do another div here. Let's put a link like so. This is gonna be the sign up, and let's add href right here. Href is gonna be good to the / sign up. Let's copy and paste this. It's gonna be / sign in. I'm gonna change this to sign in. So now we have sign in and sign up. Great. So here I'm gonna say display flex to add some space in this sign in and sign up. I can do gap to 4 like that, and the item I'm gonna set that to center. Nice, we have this sign in and sign up button, but we don't have yet this sign up road and sign in road. So let's create the road first. Let's go back to documentation, go back to all documentation, and click this Next.js. And I believe we can see in here, add custom sign up and sign in pages. Because we're using app router, we need to create this file here. So let's just copy that. And inside the app here, I'm going to create that file and paste that in here. It will create the folder sign up and this array right here. And also inside of that, we have this page.tsx. So in here, we need to render the sign up component come from the clerk right here. We need to just copy all of that and paste that right here. And again, we need to add the sign in. So let's copy this. I'm going to copy that and go back to app. I'm going to create file and paste that right here. And also we need to just copy all of this. Let's copy that and paste that right here. But we know in our middleware here, the road that public is just the / and about. The sign up and sign in now it's still private road. So how do we make sure the sign in and sign up here is public road so user can access that road? So as you can see here, we can use this environment variable. So we need to just copy that, go back to environment variable here, and just paste that right here. This is the next sign in URL. This is the sign up URL, and this is the after sign in URL. After user sign in, I want to redirect user to the dashboard road, and after user sign up, I also want to user redirect into the dashboard page. Right, so let's close this one and let's try. I'm going to click this sign up. It should be open the sign up road and open this component here. As you can see, this is the sign up, and also when I click sign in, it will open the sign in form. As you can see, really cool. It's not on the center because we're not styling anything on the sign up and sign in pages. So let's go to sign in here, and I'm going to wrap this inside the div like so. And in this div here, I'm going to add a flex to just put this on the center here. So let's do flex, and then item center, and also justify center and flex. It's basically flex column like so. And I'm gonna add gap to, let's do 10 because I want to put something like h1 in here and say this is sign up page. So here I'm gonna say class name text for Excel, and also the font bold, and the margin top I'm gonna say 20. Let's save, and as you can see, now the form is on the center, but when I go to sign up, it's still on the left. So I think we need to just copy this styling here, go to sign up and paste that to this return here, like so. But of course we need to use the sign up in here, and this is sign up. Of course this should be sign in. All right, my bad. Like so. As you can see, this is the sign up. When I go to sign in, this is the sign in. We also use this button here, I believe. Go to sign in and sign up. All right, it's working. So what the next thing we need to do? Let's try to log in. But first, I'm gonna go back to the dashboard of the clerk here and go to the users. Now, as you can see, there's no user here. Let's try to log in. I'm going to log in with my GitHub account. So let's click the GitHub. Let's click this authorize clerk and it will redirect me to the, as you can see, the dashboard now is, we don't have the dashboard, right? But as you can see, we see this page not found, but let's go back here and refresh. We should be able to see our user that log in here. As you can see, this is my name and my email. Nice. It's really easy, right? So let's go back to app here and I'm going to create the dashboard. So let's create a file here. I'm going to do dashboard / page.tsx, like so. And inside this page, I'm going to say RFC and I'm going to change the name to dashboard page. And then now let's go back here. I'm going to refresh. Now we should see this dashboard page. And the next thing I'm showing you is how that we can get the name of the user, that user login or not. It's pretty simple. So let's go back to the documentation here. As you can see, we can read session and user data by use this. I think to check the user is not login or not, we can use this user ID come from the Auth. So let's try to do this. I'm going to just copy this. And the first thing is we need to change this component into async function, like so, async component. And I'm gonna paste that right here. We need to just import the Auth like so. And I'm gonna say console log the user ID. So let's try to see. As you can see, we have this user right here. That means we are logged in right now. So we need to check here if the user ID is not accessed. We need to just return something called maybe diff here. I'm going to say you are not logged in. It's like so. Right. So now let's try to grab the user information by using this current user. So I think we need to just copy this, go back here, and we need to import this current user. Now let's try to console log user. Now, as you can see here, we get a lot of information. We get the first name, last name, image URL, and a lot of things here. I believe we also have the email somewhere. I think this one, email address, right? Great. So now I'm going to return the information in this down here. So as you can see, we access basically the user.firstname, this one. There's that this one, user.firstname, user.lastname, and also we access this email here by go to user email address and then go to array 0, and inside that array 0 we have the email address. So let's save. As you can see, we have some warning here because sometime user is null. So we need to check in here if user ID is undefined or user is null. Of course, we need to put this on the top here like so. So now the error should be gone. Let's try to see here. As you can see, we have this, my first name and last name, and then the email right here. If user login, I want to showing the button user right here. So how do we do that? Let's go back to the documentation. But as you can see in the down here, if you want, you can create a road inside the API right here. You can create a road, and then you can use the get out right here to return user login or not. All right. So if you on the client side, you also can use this use out. You can grab the is loaded, user ID, session ID, and get token. I think the documentation is pretty good to follow. And now I'm going to showing the button something like this on this navbar here. So let's go back to documentation, and I think it should be inside the component reference. Yeah, we are going to use this user button. So let's click that user button component here. And yeah, something like this, right? So let's go back to the code here, and inside a header, I'm going to add condition in here. So the first thing is we need to make sure that user should be login to showing the user button, I believe the name. Yeah, user button. When user login, we need to showing this user button component. So how do we know user login? Simple. We can use the cons, and then we grab the user ID from Auth, like so. And of course, we need to change this to async component. And then here we need to check inside this div here. We need to check if the user ID is access. It means user login. If there's no user ID, we need to say user not login. When I save, as you can see, now user login. So of course, if user login, we need to showing the user button. So let's remove this string. I'm going to render a div like so, and inside this div, I'm going to add the user button component come from the clerk. And if user not login, we need to just showing this button sign up and sign in. As you can see now, here we have this button, really cool, really simple to do. And in here, I'm going to add link. Basically, let's do a link, and the link is going to be go to the dashboard like so. Let's do href. It's going to be /dashboard. And of course, we need to put display flex in this class name here. Let's say class name flex gap4 item center. Nice. As you can see, we have this button here, really cool. We can manage account. As you can see, nice. And also here we can log out. When I log out, I want to redirect user to the home page. How do we do that? In here, in the user button, as you can see on the documentation, this is basically the props that you can use. We are going to use this here after sign up URL. I'm going to redirect user to the /. Right. So let's try to sign out. Let's see, as you can see, we're on the home page right now. Nice. So let's try to sign up. I'm going to sign up here. Now we have just email and address. You can setting this if you want. Let's go to the, I think user authentication, and go to this email, phone, and username. You can use phone number if you want. This is pro version. You can use username if you want. And you can use this name here. It will create the first and last name. So let's apply changes and see. I'm going to refresh this page. Now you will see, as you can see, we have first name, last name. This is optional, really cool. We have username, email, and password. So let's try. I'm gonna say John Doe, and for the username, say John22, and the email, I'm gonna use my email, I think. Let's say, and for the password, I'm gonna say this is my long password. Yeah, the email address is taken because we already log in with that here. Or maybe we can just delete the user from here and try to log in again. So let's try to continue. Please try another password. All right, so let's say this is new password 123. Let's continue. And now, as you can see, we should put the verification code. So I'm going to check my email and see. I'm going to copy the code. Let's copy that. And I'm going to paste that right here. And as you can see, this automatically verify the code. And now we are logged in. As you can see, we're on the dashboard now. The first name is John, the email, and the last name right here. Okay, nice. If you log in with a sign up, now there's no image here, but by default we have this avatar here. We can manage here, we can change the first name and last name as well. Here we can update the profile. It's really cool, I think. So let's try. I'm going to change this first name to anytime. Let's continue. Let's finish. I'm gonna close this and let's try to refresh, and hopefully the first name is updated right now. Cool. So I think we're done with this tutorial, and hopefully guys, you can implement the clerk authentication on your Next.js application. So thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.